I'm already judging myself on this, so I can only imagine how everyone else is. Rochelle, you just did a book haul. You did a huge book haul. You did a book haul with 80 books. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Rochelle and I have a problem with pretty books, as you can see by my shelves behind me. So I have brought you here today to talk about another book haul. Yes, I have another book haul for you. And no, it's not going to be a book haul that has 80 plus books. These are books that were pre-ordered and ended up going and showing up. And also, Charles and I went to a local bookstore and I wanted to go and get some banned books as well. So there is a perfectly good reason, and I'm not just making that excuse to myself, for the books that we have here. So I figured we might as well go through them together. So what we're going to start with first is going to be books that I got from a local bookstore. I went there, I think last month, when I ended up going and getting my hair cut, and I fell in love with this bookstore. And given everything that's currently going on, I am trying my hardest to step back from buying books on Amazon, no matter how convenient it is to get another book. I'm going to try my best to support local bookstores. That includes Barnes & Noble, because they are a bookstore that we'd like to continue supporting so that we get books in some sort of way. First is going to be Indie Bookstores, Barnes & Noble there, and Bookoutlet, of course, because that's a really good one, and then bookshop.org, which I also do have a storefront for. I just need to get things figured out, but I'm babbling. So anyway, we went there and I fully had in my mind that I was going to get one book. However, while I was looking for that one book, I ended up going and finding a few other books that were on the banned book list. And something that is really important to me is not only going and supporting authors, going and diversifying my bookshelves, but also if a book is a banned book, I want to have that book on my bookshelves because I don't want that book to no longer exist, to disappear. My grandmother was a librarian and she had this career before I was born, and she established this love of reading for me, and I can just not let it go by without going and supporting books and making sure that these books are still available and around for people to read in the future. I'm getting off my pedestal now. So anyway, with that being said, the first one I have here is Animal Farm by George Orwell. I have honestly never read this book. It was not really one that was ever on my radar, ever really seemed like one I would want to read. However, one of the things I'm noticing with a lot of the banned books, and I'm sure you are too, is that they have really important messages for us to go and read and learn. And so that's why I have this one here. So in case if you're like me and have never read this one, I'll give you a little bit of an intro to it. I usually don't read the entire back of the book or the entire synopsis for a book, but I usually like to read like the first couple of sentences. So this one, it says, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. A farm is taken over by its overworked, mistreated animals. With flaming idealism and stirring slogans, they set out to create a paradise of progress, justice, and equality. Thus, the stage is set for one of the most telling satiric fables ever penned, a razor-edged fairy tale for grown-ups that records the evolution from revolution against tyranny to a totalitarianism just as terrible. So, if you can't guess, this is why this book is banned and why it was so important for me to go and pick up a copy. It also is a lot thinner than I thought it would be, so I will definitely be reading this year. Then we have 1984 by George Orwell, another banned book as well, and I do really like the cover of this with the eye. It feels very like right in your face. And with a lot of these banned books, something too that I've been really liking is that a lot of people in the book community, at least on platforms like Instagram or Threads, I'm seeing them go and post quotes from some of these books, and that really has helped me know like, okay, yeah, 100% this is a book that I want to pick up. So if you're ever wondering or not quite sure, sometimes going and following someone that goes and posts quotes from books makes it really helpful to know that like, okay, that seems like a book that's right up my alley. So this one is actually a little bit thicker than the other one, but it says, "The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command." Winston Smith toes the party line, rewriting history to satisfy the demands of the Ministry of Truth. With each lie he writes, Winston grows to hate the party that seeks power for its own sake and persecutes those who dare to commit thought crimes. But as he starts to think for himself, Winston can't escape the fact that Big Brother is always watching. I feel like reading the back of that and then seeing the cover of this book, especially with the eye, feels very fitting and well thought out. Then you might have seen this one already in my February edition of Defend the TBR. I'll include a link right up here so you can go and watch it if you have not already, but this was the reason why I went to that indie bookstore. I really wanted to pick up Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I know some people that I follow here on BookTube have read it and soft DNF'd it or hard DNF'd it just because the stuff that is in this book is really dark. It might be a little bit weird, but the thing with Octavia E. Butler, especially for me, is that a lot of her writing, although was written a while back, she passed away, I believe, in 2006. A lot of what she wrote was kind of futuristic and just hit the nail on the head with so many things. And so I really wanted to go and read this one. It is another book on the banned book list. So just so you get a little bit of some information on it, it says, when global climate change and economic crisis lead to social chaos in the early 2020s, California becomes full of dangers, from pervasive water shortage to masses of vagabonds who will do anything to live to see another day. 15-year-old Laura Olamina lives inside a gated community with her preacher father, family, and neighbors sheltered from the surrounding anarchy. In a society where any vulnerability is a risk, she suffers from hyperempathy, a debilitating sensitivity to others' emotions. I've already started reading this because it was on my Defend the TBR, and I am already, I believe, almost on page 200, and it's just wow. With a lot of the stuff in this book, it kind of takes place in the beginning of 2024, and then currently I think it's either in 2025 or 2026, which we're in 2025 right now, which is just wild. I am really enjoying this book. You'll definitely hear my thoughts when I do my February reading wrap up, but yeah, just another book on your banned book list if you're interested in checking them out. And then let's go to the other packages. So this one is actually going to be a book that I pre-ordered. Right here I have is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I already did get to read the arc for this book, but you know me, if you've been here for a while, I love Hannah Bonham Young. And so I had to, of course, go and get a physical copy of this book for myself. And the thing is, like, Hannah Bonham Young, she sometimes works with different bookstores to kind of give you extra free goodies if you pre-order a book. So with this one, I got a few different things. So I got a cute little bookmark, and this book was from the Literati Bookstore, and I think it's in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. And then I also got this lovely print here with Sarah and Caleb, and it says Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young on the back. But this is so cute, so I feel like I'm gonna have to put it like in my little Hannah Bonham Young section, but I'll just put it here for now. But yeah, so I got my hands on a copy of this one, and it says a married couple joins a week-long wilderness expedition to help them reconnect in this heartfelt companion novel to the viral TikTok sensation Out on a Limb. High school sweethearts Sarah and Caleb Linwood have always been a sure thing. For the past 17 years, they have had each other's backs through all of life's ups and downs. But Sarah has begun to wonder, who is she without her other half? This book was really cute. I've already read it, so I'll have to look through and suggest the recap video if you wanted to hear my thoughts on it. But I had to go and get a physical copy because I love this author so much. She's an insta-buy for me, and I needed to have it. Then I'm so excited to show this. So it's the Deluxe Hunger Games collection. I had to go and order this. So I used to have copies of the original Hunger Games books when I was growing up, and then I just decided to go and get rid of them. I didn't want to keep them anymore. Horrible mistake, but also maybe a well thought out mistake, because when I saw these books, I had to go and snag them. I really want to go and reread the Hunger Games. So actually, let's go and look through the books. So first up we have The Hunger Games, and this is the very first book, and I just think that this deluxe edition is so pretty, and I am very happy to have them on my shelf. Some of the corners on the books are a little bit dinged up from delivery and everything, but it's not too big of an issue. It's a bummer, but not too big of an issue for me. I am so excited to reread The Hunger Games. This has been one that has been a long time coming for me. I remember a lot of details in it because it was a series that I loved and did establish my love of dystopian books, but I've been really wanting to reread them so that I can watch the movies again and then read some of the prequel books that have come out. And then we have Catching Fire here. It's so pretty. I really love the colors. And then Mockingjay, I love the colors on this. She is so pretty. Yeah, and then we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I did not know that this one was also included in it, but I am not upset because she's also really pretty. So I am planning on rereading this series. I probably will do it sometime this year, and I will go and probably do a video series because I reread books that were my favorites when I was growing up, and then go and talk about them. And if there is a movie rendition for the book, then I like to also watch the movie as well and see how well the movie adaptation was in keeping the details for the book. But yeah, I can't wait to go and do that with these. I think they are so beautiful, and we've already mentioned this, I need to reorganize my bookshelves, so this is definitely going to be displayed in some way. Then we have a tiny little box from Bookoutlet, and my birthday was in January, and I got a little coupon from them, so I was like, I need to go and use this coupon as a little treat. And there was one book specifically in this order that I really wanted to get, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go and snag it up now, even though I already did a purchase from them. First we have The End by Mats Strandberg. And you're gonna see, like, with a lot of these books, I'm noticing they're kind of like dystopian, post-apocalyptic. So we definitely have a theme with this book haul. It says, the world is about to end. What will you do with your last days? People have always known that they're going to die one day, but never precisely when. Not like this, not down to the very second. In this raw, heartfelt story, teens Simon and Lucinda are living on borrowed time as they hunt for truth and meaning not only in life, but in the murder of their friend. I had never heard about this one, and it kind of popped up on my search when I was looking through books, and I looked at the ratings and comments, and lots of people really loved this book. So I was like, all right, we're gonna go and add it to my list, just because post-apocalyptic, dystopian, anything in that category are just like my guilty pleasure books to go and read. Then I have Midnight Rooms by Donier Coles. And this was one that I remember seeing a while back, and I really loved the way the cover looked. I loved the butterflies on it and the Bambi, and was kind of intrigued on this one. So it says, a mysterious suitor, a secluded manor, and a heroine's quest to uncover the mysteries hidden within its haunted halls. England, 1840. Arabella Mumthorpe spies an unexpected visitor in her uncle's parlor. Scruffy in appearance, yet claiming to be the scion of fabulously wealthy family, Elias Blake. There's a lot of difficult words in here. Elias Blakersby declares a deep desire to make Arabella his wife. The orphan daughter of a white man and a black woman, an outsider with no fortune or connections, Arabella never expected to marry. But her uncle has many debts, and Arabella, curious about the seeming devotion Elias bestows upon her, agrees. This seems really interesting. I haven't heard too much about this, but I really fell in love with the cover, and I can't wait to learn more about this book. Alright, and then we have The Doll Makers by Lynn Buchanan. But I really do love the cover of it, and then it has this on the back cover. And then there are some pictures in the book as well. So there's this one, and then this photo as well. I also really like the way the book feels. It's very floppy. Oh, and there are more pictures inside. I love that. Doll makers protect the country called one. One doll maker may be its downfall. Discover a world centered around destructive, all-consuming monsters, the magical dolls designed to fight this force, and the artisans tasked with creating demon-slaying dolls. In the country called One, doll makers are vital members of the community. An artisan's doll is the height of society's accomplishments, while a guard's doll is the only thing standing between the people of One and the Shad, vicious cobbled monstrosities that will tear apart any structure, living or dead, inanimate or otherwise, to add to their horde. Apprentice Shin of Pearl is a brilliant doll maker. With her clever dolls, she intends to outsmart and destroy the Shad once and for all, a destiny she's worked her whole life towards accomplishing. Ooh. This is another one that I haven't heard too much about, but I happened to see it on Bookoutlet, and it was one I had some interest in the past, and I was really wanting to get it also because it's so pretty. Then the next book is one that is basically the main reason why I decided to do another little order from Bookoutlet, and that is Womb City, and I can't quite pronounce the name on this book, so I'll have to look it up later for when I read it and do a recap. But this one says, an adrenaline-packed cyberpunk body-hopping African futuristic ghost story exploring motherhood, memory, and a woman's right to her own body. Neela seems to have it all: fame, wealth, and a long-awaited daughter growing in a government lab. But trapped in a loveless marriage and monitored by a microchip, her perfect life is precarious. After an eerie car accident, Neela commits a desperate crime and buries the body, daring to hope that she can keep one last secret. I think this book might also be on the banned book list as well. I haven't heard too many people talking about it either, but I really do want to read this one, and this was the main reason why I decided to do one last book outlet haul so I could get my hands on this book. And then last book. Alright, so I still haven't read the first couple of books in the series, but I decided to get the special edition of Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the one from Barnes & Noble that has these sprayed edges. I have not read the books, I have not done any of that whatsoever, but I'm a part of one of my friends' Discord channels and they're reading Fourth Wing for the month of February, so I was like, alright, this might be the perfect time for me to start reading the series. I have been really curious about it and have heard a lot of good things, so we shall see. Maybe if you want me to, I could do a video recording my thoughts as I'm reading the book. Just let me know in the comments below. And then last one I have is A Study of Drowning by Ava Reed. This one I have heard a lot of mixed thoughts, and I've kind of been going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to read it. But one of my friends here on BookTube, Jade Juniper, who also wrote The Solstice Court, she really likes Ava Reed and was raving about her and just basically piqued my curiosity where I was like, all right, fine, we're gonna read these books. It also helps that the sprayed edges look so beautiful on this edition that I was like, all right, we have to go and get this book because you need an edition that has this on your bookshelves. And just to show you how the book looks, so pretty. And then inside, it's kind of like reminds me of water marbling, to be honest, which is something I used to do a lot with my nail polish in high school. But yeah, I haven't read any books, I think, by Ava Reed, or if I have, it's been a hot minute. It began as all things did. A girl on the shore, terrified and desirous. Effie Sayre has always believed in fairy tales. Even though crumbling under the pressure of her first term at college, she can't always seem to tell the difference between fact and fiction. Her only solace has been Angharad, an epic from Lyrian national hero and author Emrys Mirrodin. Taken by chance and maybe fate to the late author's estate, she is intent on finding the purpose of her own story, but instead stumbles upon Preston Houlery, a scholar from the Literate College. I'm definitely very intrigued on this. I know, like I said before, lots of people had mixed feelings about the book, but I'm definitely curious and want to see how I'm feeling about it, and it really does help that she's so pretty. She's such a pretty book. But yeah, so that is my book haul. I have 14 books, but 4 of them are from the Hunger Games Deluxe Edition that I have. So this is probably the smallest book haul I've done, and I probably won't do, like I said, another book haul anytime soon, but I really wanted to get my hands on these books and also go and get books that are on the banned book list. I am planning on doing a low buy book year, and the reason why I do this is because books that are on the banned book list and supporting a local indie bookshop when I can are two things that are very important to me and will be the exception to the rule for going and not purchasing books. So if it's a book that is on the banned book list, or maybe a book that is the next in a book series I'm reading, I plan on going and getting those from an indie bookstore so I can go and support them. But yeah, if you liked this book haul, please go and leave a thumbs up, maybe go and comment below. If there's a banned book that you've recently purchased or even recently read, please let me know down in the comments below, because I'd love to add another to my list if it's not one that is already on my radar. And if you love these book hauls, also leave a like or maybe leave a comment down below. I love going and kind of talking about my love of book hauls with other people just to justify that it's not as bad of a thing. But anyway, I love you all so much, and as always, no matter your color, ethnicity, who you love, please remember that you're worthy and capable of amazing things. Bye.